So in this video, I want to share with you a couple of simple eating rules that I personally use that help me lose body fat faster, and not only that, but help me stay lean in that 10 to 15% body fat range all year round. And the beauty of these rules is that you can simply take them and implement them. They're not very complicated. You can start doing them, you can start seeing results. And of course, these are no shortcut to abs. There is no such thing, but they will help you create that caloric deficit, and most importantly, stay in that caloric deficit so you can get to your goal physique. So without any further ado, let's dive into it. So the first rule that I personally like to use when I'm going through a fat loss stage is whenever I'm eating with a group of people, I make sure to finish my meal last. And this is a couple of things. First and foremost, I'm naturally not a slow eater. I eat really fast. I'm gonna finish that meal in 15 seconds, not kidding. So if I just don't have any rules, I'm done. Like 10 seconds, all over. So by having this rule in place, I actually regain control of the situation, because one of the difficulties with eating out is you feel like you're out of control. Food is tasty, you're just eating and eating and eating, you finish the food fast, you don't even feel full because you ate it really quickly. Your brain didn't even realize that you just had the food. It takes 15 minutes. By that time, you've just ordered something else, you're just like, I'm just gonna start on Monday, whatever. And a lot of people are afraid of eating out because they feel like out of control. That one meal can turn into a binge, that can turn into a whole bad weekend, weekend turns into a whole week, week turns into a month. Before you know it, you gain 10 pounds. So by taking a step back, by being the last person in the group to finish your meal, you're actually being a bit more controlled. You're being a bit more strategic. You're enjoying the food actually a lot more because you are chewing it, you're experiencing the food. And actually, me and my friends have a little bit of a joke when we're going out, and if any one of us is on dieting, we're observing, and you can kind of see it. And that person is very anxious for the food to arrive. When the food arrives, they're not talking to anybody. They're just tunnel vision, tunnel mode, and just eating and eating and eating. Don't be that person. You can be in control in the moment. Just implement this rule. You're going to really like it. Try it out for yourself next time you go eat out. And let me know your experience. You can drop it in the comments below. Now, rule 2 that builds on this, and something that's really important, again, not to show up in that anxious state, especially when you're eating out, because eating out is, again, a lot of people's sticking point, is to have something I call a pre-meal. And what a pre-meal is that if you haven't had food for a while and you're hungry, you're starving, and you're about to eat out, have something at home. Have a protein shake. Have a piece of fruit. This helps a lot to calm you down, to get your control back of the situation. So when you enter that restaurant, you're not gonna over order. You're not just gonna say, whatever, I'm just gonna start some other day. No, you're gonna be in control. You're gonna order the right amounts. And actually by doing this, you also complement the meal in the restaurant, which typically doesn't have enough protein. And you also don't have to worry about your protein, because a lot of people are like, well, this meal doesn't have a lot of protein, so I'm just gonna order more. And then you end up eating a lot of carbs, a lot of fats with that, and you go over your calories. So by just having that protein shake, maybe an apple, maybe some high protein Greek yogurt, and maybe some berries, you're good to go. You show up, you're calm, you can enjoy the moment, you're not anxious about food, and you can just order whatever fits the rest of your numbers for the day, and you're good to go. This I personally use a lot. I find it to be an extremely effective strategy, so definitely give that a go. And by the way, another thing, if you're enjoying this so far, make sure to hit that like button below. It means a lot to me, also helps a lot with the algorithm, so we can push this video out to help more people. So please go ahead and make sure to hit that like button. Now, the third rule is very simple. If I'm gonna order dessert, I'm gonna share it with someone. And by doing this, I effectively cut the amount of calories in half or even less, because portion sizes of these desserts have gotten gigantic. We're no longer talking about a 300 calorie treat. We're talking about 600, 800, 900, 1200 calories. I've even seen 1500 calorie desserts served to one person. That is nuts. Those are not portion sizes for one single person. That's for a group of people. So by ordering it with a group of people, you're actually getting the appropriate amount. You're also getting to enjoy it, so you don't have to skip the dessert, which is of course an option, but you get to enjoy it. You get to enjoy the actually tastiest amount, which is the first third or the first half of it anyway, and it's a great social experience with your group. So I would highly recommend switching over to that I know it might be a little bit different if you're not used to it, but you will really benefit a lot from it, and all of your friends and you will be much closer to reaching your health and fitness goals. Now, number 4, have consistent meal times. This is a rule that I personally really like because our bodies are trainable for when they're going to be hungry. So our hunger hormone ghrelin gets released when we're used to eating. So if you have consistent eating times, you not only get a good structure, but you also know when the hunger is coming in a sense, and it really helps a lot staying on track with the diet. And another thing that helps is just having that good structure, and that repetition ends up forming eating habits much quicker. So by doing that, you get that diet automation, so you can stay on track a lot easier without using as much willpower and don't be as motivated as much. I found this to work really well for me and my clients. Now, the structure can be anything. It could be noon, 4 p.m., 8 p.m. Just commit to that structure. And I mentioned noon, 4, and 8 p.m., which is that classic 16-8 intermittent fasting structure, which a lot of people like. I would highly recommend being more consistent with your meal timings. You're gonna see a lot of benefits from this. It's gonna help you organize yourself a lot more, and you get to build some really good momentum and start really crushing it on your journey. Now, rule number 5, always eat your vegetables and protein first. And I love this rule because I see a lot of people eat their carbs and fats first, which is the tastier part of the meal, and then they end up skipping those vegetables at the end because they're dreading those vegetables. They eat half of it, they leave half behind. And by getting the veggies and the protein first, you're ensuring that you're getting your proper dose of vegetables, which is very important, but you're also getting that satiety earlier in the meal, so you often end up needing less of carbs and fats later in the meal. And this is very helpful if you're intuitive eating, so if you're not tracking, if you're not eating by the numbers, this can help you control the amount of calories you're eating and actually help you stay on track. And the other thing that I've noticed, it does help a lot with the energy level. So by eating veggies and protein first, it actually helps you reduce that post-meal sleepiness. So give it a go. You will definitely notice some difference. So if you're currently carbs and fats first, just swap that around, veggies and then protein, then carbs and then fats. Rule number 6. Very helpful. I haven't seen many people do this. Make sure you always custom order. And what I mean by this is that if you're in a restaurant, get the dressing on the side. I can't remember the last time I took a salad with dressing on it because that dressing can have 500-600 calories in it. The salad can be completely drenched in that dressing. You don't even enjoy it. So make sure to get the dressing on the side. Also, make sure to order double protein if you need more protein. Don't end up in a situation where if you need a little bit more protein, you get your meal and you realize, well, it has some, but I want more. And then you go order something from the menu, which typically gets you a little bit of protein, but also gets you a ton more fats and carbs, which then ends up basically being over your caloric budget for the day. So by being a bit more creative with the menu and understanding that the goal of the restaurant is to have a happy customer, is just order what you want. Order a part of the meal that you want more of, and you can order even less of something else. You can always replace the fries with some potato that is in a different form or with some rice. You can always custom change things based on your needs. The restaurant is there to make you happy, and you want to be thinking like that because you're going to get so much leverage by doing this over time. It's not about that one instance, but it's about the compound effect of making this decision week in, week out throughout the whole year and multiple years. It does help a ton to start thinking a bit more creatively, especially as you're eating out, because this is such a huge sticking point for so many people. And by the way, if you'd like me to share more rules, would love to do a part 2. So if you'd like to do and hear a part 2, let me know in the comments below. Just Mario, I'd love to hear part 2. Awesome. Also, make sure to subscribe below. If you aren't subscribed already to the channel, do so. Enable notifications by hitting the bell icon. Hit the like as well. Helps a ton with the algorithm. If you want to be coached by me, details for coaching are in the description below. And I will see you in that next video.